I responded to a post on r Ask Reddit about things seen at sea. A few people asked me to do an AMA, so here I am. I sold everything I owned, bought a sailboat, and spent 7 years sailing the Caribbean. Gonna answer some basics before they are asked. I bought the boat and left when I was 29. Sold my house and all belongings to finance, also worked on the way. Boat was 11 meters. I still own the boat and live as an expat, I just don't sail long distances anymore. Longest time at sea, alone, was 14 days. I have dealt with a lot of corruption and bribery. Only in Latin countries, ex-British, Dutch and French colonies don't expect graft and will jail you for offering it, quite the opposite of ex-Spanish colonies. The sailing community is small, so I am going to be vague about some things as to avoid being identified. I won't post a photo of me or my boat. Ask me anything.
Can you hear any horror stories or scary things you've seen?
I have no personal horror stories. I have several friends, though, who had run-ins with pirates. One was a couple from Iceland. They got bound, gagged and thought they were gonna die. On Isla Margarita, part of Venezuela, they went to the police after losing anything not bolted to the boat, and basically found the police were in on it. They had to sail away with no instruments to the nearest country, Trinidad, where they sold the boat and never came back to the lifestyle. The other significant one was a yacht called Quest. I met them in the Caribbean. They went through the canal and beyond. You can Google their story. It isn't good. These are few and far between though, and in all cases of people I know who had issues, they went somewhere that was very well known as a problem area.
I'm Venezuelan. My cousin told me his house got broken into. Cops said they'd come for a 2-hour window to investigate. When he went back, the cops were gone earlier than they said they would, and they robbed the place more than it had been before.
So sorry. I love your country and its people. Over the years I have spent over 12 months there. I never met a more welcoming people. It's all gone to shit now. I haven't been back since Chavez died. I look forward to returning.
What was life like when you returned? Was it hard for you to adjust after spending 7 years at sea?
I didn't return to the US. I remained in the Caribbean, so adjustment wasn't hard. Occasional visits to the US are definitely a mindfuck.
What were the weirdest things about the US?
Then rush about everything. Highway driving is terrifying now. Unfriendliness. People look at you weird when you casually chat to them. The excess. Even where I am now, there are expats worth millions. They drive rusty beat-up Toyotas. What people spend money on is absurd. Honestly, the way I dress day to day, I would probably look homeless in the US. And people would judge me for it. In the developing world, people see beyond that. I can afford fancier stuff, but I love not feeling the social pressure to waste money on it.
What country?
I am not going to answer that, sorry, but they speak Spanish here.
Dominican Republic? Probably somewhere on the eastern side of the country.
No, but I did spend a lot of time there. I have been to every country in the Caribbean and some in South America and beyond what's considered Caribbean, e.g., Suriname, French Guiana, etc.
In terms of banking, do you hold your money in a U.S. bank, or how do you handle savings and withdrawing cash aside from hiding it on the boat?
I keep a U.S. bank account. I am fortunate to have a membership in a certain bank aimed at military personnel that is very adept at dealing with people internationally. I was never in the military, but you can inherit membership to this bank. Banking has never been an issue. Friends who do not have the benefit of the bank I do swear by a couple banks who also offer similar benefits. i.e., no foreign transaction fees, no ATM fees worldwide, and 24-hour service, etc.
Why did you decide to sell everything and buy a boat? I think it's amazing. I wish I had the courage to do that.
It was my dream since I was a kid. I read Robin Graham's book Dove and Tania Abbey's book Maiden Voyage when I was 13ish, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. Life led me to a situation where that was possible, and I dove in, much to the dismay of friends and family.
Tell us about some auditory hallucinations.
Generally, they happen after about 2 days with zero sleep. It's just muffled voices. Being solo in passages taking anywhere from 1 day to 20 plus days, sleep is an issue. For 1 to 2 day passages, I just power through and don't sleep. For long ones, I don't sleep the first day or two. First 2 days, still close to land, is where traffic is an issue. Then I switch to a 15-minute sleep schedule. Sleep 15 minutes, wake up, scan horizon, check boat, etc. 15 minutes is a commonly accepted amount of time that between a large ship can appear on horizon, sorry flat earth era, and run you over. But you don't get REM sleep this way, so it catches up to you. Once a few days from land, you can go easily a week without seeing another vessel. This is when you sleep more normal. So hallucinations tend to happen closer to land, where sleep is not an option and is more dangerous.
Can you explain in what kind of situation would the corruption happen?
Usually arriving in a country. Think about when you arrive by plane somewhere. Customs and immigration are there. There are hundreds of people in line to be processed. Well, when you arrive by boat, you still have to go through customs and immigration, but you are not in a well-supervised airport. Plus, your boat itself has to go through customs, not just your luggage. Officials have to visit your boat, which is your home. They can, or cannot search everything. It's an hour-long process. The guys sitting on your yacht at best might make $10 a day, and they know you have money, and since they are not in an airport with supervisors, they can do whatever they want. Most bribes amount to very little: a bottle of rum, a 6-pack of Coca-Colas. Most I ever paid was $50 in the Dominican Republic.
What was the worst thing about being at sea?
When sailing solo, it's lonely. I don't mean sitting at home alone lonely, but absolute loneliness. You know you won't see a human for a week at best, and even then, you will be incoherent as you get your land legs back. At the same time, the worst thing about being at sea is also the best. I have sat alone after days at sea, completely at awe, and knew if I had company, it would ruin it.
You ever date or just hook up with chicks?
Honestly, I am reluctant to answer this question, but I will. It's an honest question, and stigma shouldn't make me avoid answering. When I started, I was in my late 20s. Still totally sex-driven. I would meet 2 types of girls. A local girl who wanted to party because you were foreign and owned a boat. Western girl on vacation without her friends who decided before she left that she wanted to have casual sex in a situation where no one she knows could gossip about it. I did happily engage in both types many times. As time went on, and I guess this goes with anyone getting older, the casual stuff was less interesting. One of the reasons I stopped wasn't lack of money, but a lack of long-term friendships. Mindless sex sucks eventually. Yes, I had a lot, and being a single guy on his own boat lends itself well to attraction from women. It's probably the least satisfying thing of my life. My biggest regret is having been nomadic for so long that I don't develop long-term and fulfilling relationships. And at this point, I fear I might not even know how to. I haven't had sex in 2 years at this point because casual does not appeal, and few people find my chosen lifestyle as appealing long term. There you go, probably more info than you expected.
Have you ever come across drug runner on the open seas? Is there any place you absolutely would refuse to sail?
I have never come across a drug runner. No, I have however been boarded by many countries' Navy, Coast Guard, including by the USDA, and been searched for drugs. I hate to say it, but today I would refuse to sail to Venezuela. I spent many hurricane seasons there. Amazing people, low cost of living. One of my favorite places in the world. Now it's fucked and dangerous, and I wouldn't think of going there.
What advice do you have for someone who would want a similar lifestyle to yours?
Save money. Read blogs about people doing it on a budget. There are dozens of people sailing boats that cost less than $10,000 and living on even less than that per year. Avoid blogs about people on $500K yachts and $10K monthly budgets. They will make you think you need X and Y gizmo to sail the ocean when you don't. Heck, when I took off, smartphones were garbage, and you had to buy a $2,000 chart plotter. Today your $100 phone is a superior navigation device than that ever was with a $20 software download.
You mentioned one beautiful memory you had in the Ask Reddit post. What other memorable experiences have you had?
I wish I could answer this better. This kind of question is really what people want to know. So many countless times huge pods of dolphins joined me. Since I sailed alone, company was welcome. I would go forward and lay on the bowsprit, and since my boat had low freeboard distance from deck to water, I would reach my hand to the water. It was low enough I could touch the water when on my stomach. Dolphins would often approach and touch me. They would swim on their sides and literally look me in the eye. I had a cat on the boat, and he always heard the dolphins before me. I only knew they arrived when they started jumping. I think he heard audio frequencies that I didn't. He would run around all excited, and I knew within 5 minutes there would be dolphins.
Did you encounter any whales on your venture? I like whales.
Yes, many times. Before my first encounters, I always looked forward to it. After my first encounter, I dreaded it. Whales are fucking huge, literally bigger than my boat was. They were terrifying to see up close out of sight of land. I can see how a whale watch tour might be cool. Rescue is nearby, but at sea alone in a sailboat, it was terrifying. I only ever met humpback whales, no other species. In hindsight, there is no doubt that it was majestic, and I am lucky as hell to have had those experiences, but I would be lying if I didn't admit that at the time, I was beyond terrified.